Hey, it's the last good man in Jersey, here with a message to help the fellas win. We are going to give a second try to getting my nephew's music into a video. Tried it last time, didn't have the volume up loud enough. So, once again, shout out to my nephew, Fibonacci, for giving me some music to use for the show. Um, if you like what you're hearing, give him a shout. Fibonacci, kind of like Fibonacci sequence. Um, with that, I want to talk about something that I'm seeing pop up and that I'm hoping I can help guys think through. Have you heard of Mgtow? Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. Maybe you don't know the term, but you kind of understand the idea and you've considered it. Mgtow is men going their own way. It's kind of the men's equivalent of the feminist movement, and it's growing in popularity. Now, here's why, especially for my black brothers out there, I want to talk about it. I saw a video today explaining why black men should really consider Mgtow. The curious thing for me, though, was that the author of the piece was not a black man. So it struck me as odd that this guy was sort of preaching to the black community of men what they should be doing. There are some parallels between what I heard and what happened with the feminist movement. The feminist movement, let's remember, was essentially a message that over affected the black community because more black women seemed to rally behind the feminist movement than other races. And that had a very detrimental effect. The feminist movement led to a lot of women not realizing until it was too late that they were not going to be able to find relationships with people because essentially they believed that their earnings, their income, and their careers made them attractive, and that really wasn't the case. They hit the wall, and for women, 40 is a very hard wall. People don't talk about it enough, but especially for women who want to have kids, if they haven't had them by the time they're 40, it's slim to none the likelihood that they will. Here's what's so important about this and Mgtow. Mgtow's kind of new, but Mgtow is just like the feminist movement. It's a movement for men who are fundamentally saying, we don't need women, we're going to go do our own thing and be free. Not here to tell you what to do, but I am here to encourage you to think about some things. Look at the feminists, the most radical feminists. There's, an ocean of information, an ocean of content on YouTube about how women who really bought into this feminist ideal now regret it because they're in their 40s, they're not married, they don't have relationships, and they're realizing they sacrificed some things in their life that would have value now at 40, chasing something that didn't really have value when they were in their 20s and 30s. Mgtow is a bunch of guys who are kind of saying, I want to go my own way. And for the most part, it's guys who are younger for us being, 40 and under, sometimes 50, just starting to be 50, and they are abandoning relationships, not interested in having kids. Okay. If that's really what you want, go live your life, go do that. But here's the thing to think about. Feminism didn't really work. women started to hit a wall and realized, ooh, I made a mistake. And I didn't realize it until it was too late. Mgtow feels like the exact same thing for guys, except we have a longer shelf life. As a guy, you might hit 50, 60 before you start to think about your legacy, before you start to think about, kind of your social circle, whether you have it or not. But if you don't have anything by then, you're way behind in trying to build it. I listened to an interview from a guy who was a 20-year Mgtow. And it was interesting because he essentially talked about how he went the Mgtow route before the term Mgtow was really a thing. He felt comfortable with his life and what he had accomplished, which was to live a life of pleasure and enjoyment. No real kids, no real relationships, no real ties. And for him, that seemed fine. But for me, I looked at that and thought, that life feels empty. I don't know that I would feel that good about my life if I were 60 with no kids, no real relationships in my past. Sure, I might have partied a lot, but what's created value for me are my connections, the people who I have in my life. I have a daughter. That gives me a mission that will last me my entire life, and that makes life worth living. If you're going to go the Mgtow route, think about what you really want. Feminists found out too late that people mattered, that relationships mattered, and alienating people as you champion the idea of your own freedom really was counter to what they wanted. If you're considering Mgtow, is it because you want to go your own way? Or is it because you haven't found a way to make the women who you really want you? That's different. Not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to tell you to think through your decisions so you don't make a bad one. Personally, most of the Mgtow content I've heard is guys who really don't want to go their own way. They just haven't figured out how to get the relationships that they want. And fundamentally, my approach to that is to say, take a good hard look at yourself, think through the couple of things that you could improve, pick the easiest one and start working on that. Get better. Ultimately, get better so that you'll have better outcomes. If Mgtow is the way, go for it. If it's not, well, think it through so that you're not 60 and single and wishing you'd done something different.